have this poster on my wall, which you might have seen if you watched some of my live streams at this point. But basically, what it says is first we shape the tools and then they shape us. I want to talk a little bit about what exactly that means. So, at a very surface level, the meaning of that phrase is that literally, I think about that from a designer's perspective first, which is let's say you are the designer behind Instagram, behind TikTok, or behind any single product that is going to be used by hundreds and then thousands and hopefully millions of users. When you design this product, you design it from your set of experiences, from a bunch of maybe research that brings other people's reality into this, and then you bring it out into the world. First, we shape these tools. And then these tools end up shaping us, which is if you look at TikTok today, it has a change on behavior, which is this tool in the same way that we designed a hammer, and then now that we have this hammer, we can start using it for certain things. Or a lot of things start looking like nails. We're like, okay, what can we use this tool for? In a similar sense, when we make digital tools, it ends up changing us. So we shape the tools and then the tools shape us. So that I feel is like a level one description of this. The level two description that I'm thinking about is what else is a tool, right? A hammer is a tool. Literally tools that we make, which is like apps. Those are tools. But I also think about language as a tool, for example. And this connects to the previous video. When I think about languages as a tool, we have sort of shaped language, and then that language ends up shaping us. How exactly does that work? I'll leave you to think a little bit about it. But the way I'm thinking through it is that when we say certain phrases, now this is going to get it a little bit into the esoteric realm. When we say certain phrases, we are constructing a version of our reality. That sounds really weird. That sounds really woo-woo, but think of it at a very basic level. When I say I am good or I am XYZ, I give myself a descriptor. I say Abnux2 is a channel for XYZ and ABC. What I'm essentially doing is I'm using the tool of language. I'm shaping it. And in return, that ends up shaping me, which is a lot of the stuff that I put out. I think about this from a content creator's lens. The stuff that I'm putting out there is having an effect on the way people are thinking. Now, at a very practical level, it's about how do you think about things like design. There might be some more things that people pick up on, and it influences thinking in some sense. Not just me as a content creator, but any content creator out there. You are, in some sense, injecting your voice or your reality into people's consciousness. And when you do that, a lot of this gets reflected back to you, which is, I know that for this channel, Abnux2, when I define it saying Abnux2 is a channel for XYZ, I know that people will start expecting XYZ from me, which ends up shaping my view of what Abnux2 is to a limited chunk, a limited pie, which is XYZ. So the words that I put out there, the definitions, the meanings, they reflect back to me and end up changing my way of thinking. So that I feel is like a level two explanation of this idea. If I had to go into a level three or tell you a short idea of what I think is beyond, I think the idea that first we shape the tools and then they shape us, if you can change the definition of what a tool is, like we started with regular tools, hammers, and then technical tools, which we have apps, then we use language as a tool, right? We use it to communicate. We've invented language. when I think about words as a tool, when I think about something else as a tool, with words, I specifically believe that what this implies, one of the corollaries of this statement, is that your words shape your reality. Which is, if you say, I am this, this becomes your reality. Which is, if I say I am, one day I say I am a content creator and I publicly put this out, that reflects into me. People start, like, the version of me that lives in people's heads, a new tag has been added which says this person is a content creator. I'm using these very simple examples of content creator, YouTuber, because that at least is something I think we're familiar with, like you watching this video. But there's a bunch of other examples I have that I don't know if I'll get into. So level 1, level 2, level 3 to me is thinking about how many things are tools, which is a lot of the systems around us that we have are man-made systems, which is let's say the judiciary system, money as a system, or the idea of human collaboration, which is collaborating with other humans to get a task done. These are systems we've had to invent. Collaboration, I don't think, is something that comes naturally. As the size of a tribe increases, you have to put in systems for collaboration that prevent it from collapsing. So when we create these systems, eventually those systems end up creating us. The real question then becomes is how many of these systems that we take for granted are actually switchable, which is, can you in your own reality switch out certain systems for other systems and change your own reality through that. Now that is getting into a very deep territory, because if you apply this concept that I've told you, this mental model, there's a lot you can apply it to. That poster right there, first we shape the tools, then they shape us. I think this was the sentence was first coined by Marshall McLuhan, if I'm not wrong. Very likely that I am wrong. It's probably one of his contemporaries. But it ties into Marshall McLuhan's idea as well, if you've heard about this, which is the medium is the message. What he's saying is not just that the medium, which is this right now, asynchronous video on YouTube, he's not saying the medium affects the message. What he's saying, the medium is the message, which is, if I was communicating to you in a way that wasn't this asynchronous video via YouTube, my message would actually be totally different. So that is something I think about as well. Maybe I'll make a future video on that where I touch upon some examples. But that is it for this video. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight of why I have this poster. Primary reason is that I use that backdrop for live streams. A lot of designers watch me, and this is something that I want designers to have on top of mind. But beyond that, it's a reminder for me to think deeper about what tools do I use that I haven't really questioned, and how exactly do they shape me. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.